Passive-aggressive behavior expresses negative feelings indirectly. Instead of openly communicating, they might use sarcasm, sulking, or procrastination. It's expressing anger without confronting the issue. Imagine saying yes but meaning no, or giving the silent treatment. That's passive aggression. It masks true feelings, creating confusion. Recognizing and addressing it fosters healthier communication. Passive-aggressive behavior can manifest in various ways, often disguised as everyday actions. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards addressing the issue. For instance, imagine you ask your partner to help with the dishes and they respond with a sarcastic, "Sure, I'll get right on that," but never actually do it. This is a classic example of passive aggression. Another common scenario is the silent treatment. Instead of openly discussing a disagreement, a passive-aggressive individual might withdraw completely, refusing to engage in conversation. This creates a wall of silence that can be incredibly frustrating for the other person involved. They might mutter under their breath, make backhanded compliments, or agree to do something and then forget or do it poorly. Procrastination can also be a form of passive aggression, especially when it's used as a way to avoid responsibility or express displeasure. For example, if a coworker consistently puts off completing a shared project, it could be a sign of underlying resentment or a desire to sabotage the task. By recognizing these subtle signs, we can start to see passive-aggressive behavior for what it is, a way of expressing negative emotions indirectly. Dealing with passive-aggressive behavior can be challenging, but it's not impossible. The key is to remain calm, assertive, and focused on open communication. One effective strategy is to directly address the behavior without being confrontational. For example, you might say, "I noticed you agreed to help with the dishes, but you haven't yet. Is there something preventing you from doing so?" Another helpful technique is to set clear boundaries and expectations. If someone consistently uses sarcasm or makes snide remarks, calmly let them know that you find their tone disrespectful and would appreciate it if they communicated directly. Don't engage in arguments or try to force a response. Remember, dealing with passive-aggressive behavior requires patience and understanding. It's important to avoid getting drawn into their game of indirect communication. Instead, focus on fostering open dialogue and addressing the underlying issues. By remaining assertive and promoting direct communication, you can encourage a shift towards healthier interactions. Section 4. The ripple effect impact of passive aggression on relationships. Passive-aggressive behavior can have a corrosive effect on relationships, slowly eroding trust and intimacy over time. When one person consistently communicates indirectly, it creates an environment of uncertainty and resentment. The recipient of passive-aggressive behavior often feels confused, hurt, and frustrated, unsure of where they stand. Imagine a romantic relationship where one partner constantly makes sarcastic remarks or gives the silent treatment. This behavior creates a communication barrier, making it difficult to address conflicts constructively. Over time, these unresolved issues can fester and lead to deeper resentment and emotional distance. Passive aggression can also damage workplace relationships, creating tension and hindering productivity. When colleagues resort to indirect communication, it can lead to misunderstandings, missed deadlines, and an overall toxic work environment. The lack of open communication can stifle creativity and collaboration, ultimately impacting the success of the team as a whole. Section 5. Setting boundaries. Protecting yourself from passive-aggressive behavior. Protecting yourself from the negative impacts of passive-aggressive behavior involves setting clear boundaries. This means establishing what you will and will not tolerate in your interactions with others. When dealing with someone who exhibits passive-aggressive tendencies, it's crucial to stand your ground and refuse to engage in their games. One important boundary to set is refusing to accept responsibility for their emotions. Passive-aggressive individuals often try to manipulate others into feeling guilty or responsible for their unhappiness. Remember, you are not responsible for managing their emotions or changing their behavior. Another crucial boundary is to disengage from conversations that become circular or unproductive. If you find yourself going around in circles, calmly state that you're willing to discuss the issue when they're ready to communicate directly and respectfully. By establishing these boundaries, you create a safe space for yourself while encouraging the other person to adopt healthier communication patterns. Section 6. Fostering healthy communication. Moving beyond passive aggression. Moving beyond passive-aggressive behavior requires fostering healthy communication patterns. Create an environment where individuals feel safe expressing their thoughts and feelings openly. Practice active listening and use I statements to express feelings without blaming. Promote open dialogue, empathy, and direct communication to build trust and respect.